This is the MGM one-year overview reading for the year of 2023. It's currently December 13th, 2022, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Time. MGM shares are, at the time of this reading, are $34.21. So the overall theme and behavior for MGM in the year of 2023, we have some sideways rotation. There's an important bottom on a multi-year chart type of scale that's highlighted here in 2023. And we have sideways rotation along a key support level on a multi-year scale. We rise to meet the nearest critical resistance on the multi-year scale, and then we fall back down and continue rotating sideways along that same key support. Then the behavior around that crosses with it is a period of volatility with a sharp drop. In that period of volatility, that sharp drop will take us to a prominent low on a multi-year chart. Looks like the decline is likely, well, it looks like there's two main declines. There's a decline early in the year, and then there's a decline towards the end of the year. We'll get into that in more detail momentarily. Behavior around the highest highs for MGM in the year 2023 will be bumping along resistance, breaking through resistance, bumping along resistance, and that'll be the majority of behavior around the high for 2023. Sirens going off. And then there's also, it looks like probably there's a good cash out opportunity towards the end of the year, it would appear, or it may even be like a cash out of a short position at the end of the year. We'll get into it. Behavior around the lowest low. Obviously, there's a correlation to this card here. We have a prominent low on a multi-year scale, and behavior into the low is going to be sideways fluctuations with a bearish trend that precedes a rally. Innate within this card is that decline precedes a notable rally, and it's usually the beginning of a rally when we have that bottom at the Empress. It's usually the beginning of a rally and a good buy opportunity on a long-term scale. So that all looks pretty good, guys. Let's take a quick look at the 10-year. So we had this in 2022. We had this important bottom here, which is likely really going to end up being in 2023 based on what we're seeing here. So we have this rally here in 2022, probably come back down. No, I don't think so. I think that's the important bottom. It's there in 2022. We rise out of that, that's the Sun card, and then we have a sharp decline at some point here in 2023. There's a sharp decline, and that important bottom, based on what we see here, is going to be an important opportunity to open up a long position. You can see right there as well, the low also correlates to a good trade opportunity, like a significant trade opportunity on a multi-year scale. And guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It really helps out the channel. So we have a prominent low for the year on a one-year chart. There will be a prominent trough here within close proximity to the January high. So each of these four cards, like a cluster of 4 cards, each one of them represents a year. We go across. So this is January through June. This is July through December, right? So what we're seeing here towards the end of January is this prominent trough for the year, and it'll be within close proximity to the high for the month of January. Looks like we move higher in early January. Around the high, there's some volatility and a fast sudden move higher that marks the end of that volatility and brings us to the high. Behavior around the low, it'll be important support level. I'm also advised to open up protection there, so it looks like we'll probably go lower. There's something to do with the male ruler of nations highlighted here, or a key support level that's really important. And then off of the high, which looks like we probably have towards the end of the month after a notable rally into it, we have this decline to and through a support level to meet a secondary support level, again on the scale of a one-year chart, and then we rotate sideways along that support into February. There's erratic behavior in early February back and forth through the same price level. And in the midst of that erratic behavior, we revisit a crest that was recently a past opportunity. So within like a month or two, or at the most 3 months, is recent on a 1 year scale. There's also a trade opportunity here, which if you're one of the subscribers for the early access on our website Tarot for Traders, then you actually see at the end of this video where we get into all of the trades. If it's the public version on YouTube, guys, if this is helping you, please support the channel by going and signing up for the early access. You get to check out all different types of predictions that we have on our website before they come out on YouTube. In most cases, and that's tarotfortraders.com. We're looking for the early access subscription. It's $17 a month. Well worth it, my friends. So that erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. We have a lucky, like the month's high in February is a lucky trade opportunity. Probably an unexpected move to meet the high, as well as an unexpected move off of the high. And then behavior around the low, the price level at the low of February is going to be a good indication or a good mean level for like a straddle or a strangle, utilizing that as like the midpoint as far as strike prices are concerned. There's a cross reference here, or cross correlation here in the orange to the works card, so we likely have this support level here that we're highlighting, and there'll be quite a bit of volatility when we hit that price level, which it'll be support, and it'll also play as resistance at some point because it's a midpoint, right? Towards the end of the month of February, we have a notable move higher. It might be a short squeeze or a move higher to fill a previous gap down, or just plain out of severely oversold territory. There's a notable move out of a prominent trough, again for the year, towards the end of February, prominent trough or crest there. Okay, so interesting. So we have this fast, sudden move higher into March, out of a trough. We meet a key resistance on a multi-year chart, or at least on a 1 year chart kind of scale, and we decline from there in early March off of that with a significant move downward. Usually an ace of, I'm finding in a lot of these 1 years that an ace of cups, in a lot of cases, it ends up indicating like a lowest low. Not in all cases, but I'm going to indicate this as a probable place for it, which I do. If you're new to Eso-Meta analysis, guys, we use colors and shapes to indicate a lot of extra information. We're looking to be able to, as easily as possible, visually extrapolate pattern in time, and to do that with all the information that we're utilizing, we need to use color codes and shapes. And so filled in translucent red star is a most likely highest probable area of us having a lowest low, versus like these are prominent lows, they're not filled in. So that decline takes us to another prominent low, probably lower than what we saw in February. But out of that, there's a notable move higher. It looks like in the end of the first week or the end of the second week, out of a low, it looks like probably a lowest low, right? And we have a notable move and a breakout, at least on a 1 month kind of scale. There's a breakout there. Out of that decline, and then we have the March high. We have a move higher through a resistance level. We stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through it with a full retracement from where that move higher started. Makes kind of like a capital A type of pattern in the English Latin language, where the price level would be the horizontal line through it. There's also, looks like probably mid. There's also another correlation here to the works card. So we probably bump up on that resistance again, or excuse me, bump up on that support that we're rotating sideways along again. And it's there towards the mid to end of the month of March. There's also a notable fake out, shakeout there. The devil card is always an intentional misdirection of some kind, like a fake out or shake out, or you know, some sort of like deceptive triggering of a technical indicator that a lot of people follow, but it doesn't do what you expect it to do because it was used to trick you. That's the type of thing that the devil card indicates. So towards the end of March, looks like we have some price swings off of the low that we see, like within the first 2 weeks. It looks like of March there's a rally, kind of like a jagged, like volatile rally, but it is a rally into like a crest or peak there, probably like the end of the third week or somewhere in the third or fourth week there of March. And then there's a fake out there where we have the halting of a bullish trend. Matter of fact, we have the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support. It looks like that high. Okay, so the fake out in the end of the rally, it either ends in, I think it probably ends not in the end of March, but in early, like very early April, and we have this the halting of that bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support on a 1 year chart kind of scale. Takes us to another prominent trough there. Also, the correlation, the low card for April is the Princess of Wands. Princess of Wands in a low card position is definitively bearish. Indicates that a rally off of the low would yield an opportunity to open up a short position, meaning that we see the same price level or lower price level than that low. And it looks like we see a lower price level there, the same or lower price level there the following month, because we do have a correlator there in May. We'll get into that in a minute. So behavior around the month's high for April, there's a failed attempt to break through key resistance followed by a decline through key support. Yeah, I'm advised to open up protection here as well, somewhere around, a prominent high, what am I saying? There's a prominent high here within close proximity. So there's a prominent high here, it looks like probably early April, a prominent high for the year. I'm advised to buy protection there. We may cross through it just momentarily. But then we failed to break through that resistance and we declined through key support. There's multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance towards the end of the month of April. And it looks like right around the cusp. I'm so sorry, guys. It looks like around the cusp of April, May, there's a notable move higher. It'll stand out on a 1 year chart as a notable move higher. It'll take us to an overbought peak or crest. That will sell down from somewhere around the middle of May. Also important to point out that prominent high that we have, we go from a prominent low here in early March to a prominent high. It looks like probably early April. And then there's this selling here from an overbought peak or crest. Looks like probably mid-May. That high, that prominent high, is within close proximity to the month's low for April, by the way. And then there's a prominent low, not a lowest low, but a prominent low in May that's within close for the year. That's within close proximity to the May's month's high. From the May month's high, we decline with increasing momentum moving forward in time. Looks like the high and the low are probably towards the end for the month, or towards the end of the month of May. And then there's a notable peak that we sell down, like have a sell-off from in late May. near overbought territory on RSI, and at the low in May, it'll form when we have a full retracement of a move. That'll be like a prominent move higher off of the low, and then a full retracement back to that low, and it looks like a trade opportunity at that low. I'm advised to be cautious in early June. In early June, there's a bit of a rally. We turn resistance into support, but that doesn't hold. I'm advised to open up some protection there. There's multiple false. There's a fake out, like an intentional fake out or shakeout, kind of similar to a devil card, and then there's some price swinging, and we have some false tops. So a lot of tricky behavior going on there in early June. Behavior off of the June high. We have some volatility and a sharp drop there off of the June high. Looks like towards the end of the looks like the decline really increases in momentum towards the end of the month of June. Takes us to a low in the end of the month of June. After we fall from that high in early June through multiple from one support level to another, we bounce along that support level for a bit, and then we break down through multiple support levels into the low that we see towards the end of June. There's actually 3 pokes through the same resistance level and then a sharp drop. That's where that sharp drop ends up being, and it's a notable drop. It'll stand out on a 1-year chart, and it'll break down through a support level that we've recently broken down through once before. So very likely it would be. My sense is that it's probably the support level that we broke down through here, but hard to say at this time. I'd have to do some Q&A for that. Alright. Then we have our first highest probable area for a highest high here in July. So we go for another prominent low for the year in late June. There's a merger or an acquisition here of some kind that's highlighted, or an agreement between 2 leaders, probably a merger and acquisition of some kind that's highlighted here. And we have some sideways rotation or a holding pattern here in early July that ends with a fast sudden move higher to meet the highest high for the year. And from that highest high for the year, we break down with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. It's probable that the month's low for July is within close proximity to the high, based on the fact that the behavior around the month's low will be a move higher through resistance, followed by we stay there briefly and we break back down through that resistance, which will be support when we break back down through it. But it will do that like shortly thereafter, creating like a pop and drop through resistance, and that'll be behavior around the low. So consecutively lower spikes up on the way down into a prominent trough for the year in early August. Congress is highlighted here. There's a speech or some sort of thing going on. So guys, there's a lot. This stuff here, the merger and the Hierophant card. When we look at the 10-year. The Hierophant card and the merger card, they have a lot of correlations to each other based on where we want to trade and what we want to trade around. And we have that here in the 2024 kind of year, but you have to kind of give these a little bit of a wiggle room, because one card to represent a whole year it's very generalized. So what I'm picking up on is that issue that we see here, we're seeing highlights of it here in early July and in early August. So there's a speech of some kind mid-August. It can be trusted. It's truthful. It's not deceptive. Price swings or sideways fluidity along a key support level near the high of the month of August there. We may. Matter of fact, that may be where we bump up against resistance. It looks like the high for August it's either the same high that we have at the end of July, or it's very, very early in the month of August, and then we decline. Looks like the month of August low and prominent trough for the year is there towards the end of the month of August after a notable decline. So sideways rotation near high, and then probably a pop and drop due to trusted information, some sort of speech, and then we have a sharp drop into the end of the month low, which is a prominent trough for the year. Out of that low, we have a significant move higher. We can establish support there, and we have a significant move higher into into September. A fast sudden move higher, highlighting early September. We meet resistance. It looks like we meet resistance there in early September, and we push the upper end of a range higher. So we probably break through that resistance and push the upper end of the range higher in there in September to reach the high for September. Interesting. It may actually end up being a higher high than, or it may actually end up being the same high that we have here for July, the same price level, anyways. And we might break through it, or probably stay around. No, we might break through it, making this a higher high. We'll have to get into it. In that case, this would be the highest high yet, like thus far in the year, and then we push the upper end of a range higher here, or we hit the same price level as this highest high here in the month of September. There's a failed attempt. Okay, it's the same price level. There's a failed attempt to break through the key resistance. Everybody's expecting to break through the key resistance. Why? Because we established support around a low here. Falsely established support around the low here in August, and there's a fast sudden move higher to reach that same resistance, and then we're disappointed towards the end of the month when we break down. Instead of breaking out, we break down through a key support level on a 1 year scale to reach lows, and we're bound by a range. Looks like an important trough here, but bound by a range at the low in the month of September. Cessation of a trend near the low. Out of the decline that we end September in, there's a big move from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range in early October. Significant trade opportunity there. Again, I get into that in the version that we have on our website, Tarot for Traders. And looks like that big move takes us to a high at the end of the month where we have a breakout. So this may be a higher high. So we have a breakout to reach it. We'll have to see. It's either the same high as this high, or it's a higher high. If it's a higher high, then this high here in July would have been the highest high yet in the year. But they're probably the same high. Other than the fact that I see this matter of fact, it may very well be a higher high based on the fact that it's the victory card that's correlating to it. We'll see. We'll have to see. It's hard to say. With the behavior around the low, there's a U-shaped dip around the month's low of October, and that U-shaped dip forms near the intersection of two perpendicular diagonal trend lines, and then we have this breakout there to push the upper end of a range, or break out through to reach the highest high for the year. They're probably in the third or fourth week. Then we have okay, so off of the high, there's also a significant drop and a bit of volatility and significant drop off of the high there that we see. A significant trade opportunity, and a sharp drop off of that, as correlated in yellow to the Queen of Swords. But that will quickly turn into a rally. So there's like a bit of a prominent trough here in early November, and we rally out of that prominent trough along the diagonal trend line, break through horizontal resistance, meet secondary resistance, and then pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. Looks like out of the month's low, we have a rally that increases with momentum moving forward in time out of the low. And towards the end of the month, we're doing sideways fluctuations with a bullish trend that does precede a decline. So we have this prominent trough, but not like a lowest low. It's just a prominent trough. After making this high, there'll be like a new local low here in early November. And then we rally to meet key resistance. It's the truce card, so likely it's not, we don't break through a new resistance. It's like the same resistance that we met already. Okay, and so that rally then at some point towards the end of November or into early December, that rally with this sideways fluctuation with the bullish trend, it precedes a decline. So there's a decline to revisit a past support level that was recently an opportunity, and it looks like another visit of the year's lowest low. And we have the orange correlation again, so we're probably back at that same support level there at that point, revisiting that support, that key support level as correlated to the works card in early December. There'll be a sharp drop within a period of sideways rotation. That sharp drop will take us to that support level and that lowest low. But out of that lowest low, we have a notable move higher. We successfully turned resistance into new support. However, it does look like the notable rally into the prominent high, so there'll be a new local high, not a highest high, but a new local high here after meeting this lowest low again. There'll be a new local high out of it and an opportunity to open up a short position because of the end of this rally period in the end of December. Sneak preview for the following year, we have a sideways S formation within a channel, so either a horizontal channel or a diagonal channel with a downslope. We'll fall from resistance down to support, do a full retracement back to resistance, and then a full retracement back to support, making actually it would be this way for you guys, making like a sideways S formation. Overall though, the lows here, guys, are significant opportunity. I'm gonna say here's a lowest low, and then we have probably a lowest low again here. Like we revisited here in early or at the end of the year, and both opportunities, especially both opportunities, because this is revisiting. Both opportunities are opportunities to open up a long position on a multi-year kind of scale. That's MGM, guys. Stay tuned for the Q&A. We're going to get into price level question and answer, and then after that we'll get into the trades for the version that you get on our website, tarotfortraders.com, for $17 a month, along with all of the other readings ahead of time. Stay tuned, my friends. This is the Q&A portion for extrapolating some price information, and for those of you interested, this file was created on December 7, 2022 at 10:05 p.m. Eastern. That's the shuffle file right here. This is MGM's one-year overview reading for the year of 2023. That's MGM Resorts International. It's currently December 7th, 2022, 7:25 p.m. Eastern Time. MGM shares are currently $36.38 per share. Is MGM's lowest price level of the year 2023 taking place in March of 2023? Yes. Is MGM's lowest price level revisited? Is MGM's lowest price level of 2023 revisited in 2023? No. Okay, awesome. So it looks like that is the lowest price level, and this one is not the lowest price level, but it's still a prominent low. Really, it would have given me a maybe card if we were the same price level. Is MGM's low of December 2023 a lower price level than that of March 2023? So it looks like we have highest price levels in July Is MGM's highest price level of the year 2023 taking place in July of 2023? Yes. Actually, that's almost like a maybe card, though. Knight of Swords, it's a yes, but swords are sort of like in some cases. Is MGM's highest price level of July 2023 revisited in 2023? Yes, and I got the Works card. Probably three times. Is MGM's highest price level of 2023 met three separate times in 2023? Yes. Alright, so we've got one there. MGM's highest price level of 2023 taking place in October of 2023. Yes. And then I guess probably here, although there was this spot here. Is MGM's highest price level of 2023 taking place in September of 2023? Yes. MGM's highest price level of 2023 took place in December of 2023. Okay, so it looks like there's four times. Alright guys, well that's MGM for 2023 Q&A price levels. If you're watching this on the website, you're paid the $17 a month for the early access. Then you can also see the trade versions. We're about to go through all the different trades that we see in the year of 2023. So thank you. Stay tuned for that. And either way, guys, make sure you follow that rule of karma. A little bit forward, a little bit backwards, and when you spend that money, make sure you spend it out of love. The universe will send it back to you tenfold in all directions.